Imagine you're sitting at your desk. You're billing your client like $150 an hour.
Standard rate, yeah.
Right. And they ask you for a really simple classic design element, just a starburst graphic to go behind a sale logo.
Which is, the most mundane request ever.
Exactly. Now, if you've been doing this a while, you know the drill.
Yeah.
You open your software, you spend maybe 10 minutes building it from scratch, tweaking the points, getting the angles just right.
And at your rate, that 10 minutes of work just cost your client $25.
Yeah, $25 for a starburst. It's expected, right? But what happens when you suddenly have access to a tool that can generate that exact same perfectly symmetrical starburst in like 45 seconds?
That changes the math pretty drastically.
It really does. I mean, do you still bill for the 10 minutes? Do you lower your rate? Do you pass the savings on? And I guess more importantly, if an algorithm is suddenly doing the actual drawing.
Are you even still a graphic designer?
Exactly. Are you still a designer?
It is, it's literally the existential crisis of the modern creative class, completely distilled into a single 45-second automated action.
And it is exactly why we are plunging into this topic today.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this right now, maybe you're a novice designer, just getting your footing.
And you're probably terrified.
Right. Terrified that you're entering an industry that's actively automating itself out of existence. Or, maybe you're just endlessly curious about how the visual world around you is fundamentally changing beneath the surface.
Because it is changing. The websites you scroll, the ads you see, it's all shifting.
It is. And you are the exact person we are doing this deep dive for. Our mission today is to thoroughly unpack Chapter 13 of a remarkably timely book, Graphic Design for Dummies.
Great book.
Yeah, really solid. The chapter is titled 10 Ways Artificial Intelligence May Change Graphic Design. And right out of the gate, we just have to acknowledge the absolute elephant in the room. The palpable, heavy anxiety out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the author explicitly points out the very real concerns rippling through the creative community.
Yeah, fears about algorithms scraping, decades of design solutions.
Scraping original artwork without credit.
Mm-hmm.
And just the overarching dread of human job opportunities just vanishing.
Into the ether.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a profound fear. It's visceral. And honestly, it's completely understandable when you see what these tools can actually do.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Real quick, though, before we really get into it, if you're enjoying these deep dives and you want us to keep unpacking these massive industry shifts, please take a second to support the channel. It really helps us out.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back to the fear. What makes this source material so valuable is that it offers a crucial reframing almost immediately, right?
Yes. It's a paradigm shift that you, as someone navigating this space, absolutely have to internalize. The text explicitly states that right now, artificial intelligence is not a threat to steal your job.
Right.
But a graphic designer who knows how to use artificial intelligence just might.
A designer who knows how to use it will take your job. That is the thesis of our entire deep dive today. AI isn't just a quirky filter.
No, it's not a passing fad.
It is a massive structural disruptor. The software companies that build the core infrastructure of the design industry are baking these capabilities natively into the platforms.
It's inescapable. You literally can't opt out anymore.
So how do you become the designer who masters it rather than the one who gets replaced by it? Let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
We'll walk through the 10 major shifts the author highlights. And we should probably start with the baseline reality of the profession. Because before anyone gets to be an absolute visionary, they have to deal with the daily grind.
The repetitive stuff. Yeah, we have to talk about the absolute end of grunt work.
Which is such a necessary conversation.
Yeah.
Because, there's this romanticized vision of graphic design.
Oh, totally. People picture you sitting in a sunlit loft, sipping artisan coffee.
Having brilliant epiphanies, sketching logos on an iPad.
Right. They don't picture you sitting there at 11 p.m., taking one single banner ad and painstakingly resizing it into 47 different aspect ratios for a campaign.
The mind-numbing labor. And the source text groups. A few critical concepts here that address this directly. Automated tools, improved efficiency, and cost reduction.
It points to the standalone generative AI platforms that everyone has heard of, obviously. Things like Midjourney or DAE3.
But it also heavily emphasizes integrations happening directly inside industry standard tools, like Photoshop or website builders like Wix.
Yeah, the native integration is the real game changer there.
But before we even get to the visual stuff, what really grabbed me was the author's focus on non-design tools.
Oh, the administrative side.
Yeah, The text highlights that a designer's day isn't just spent drawing, it's spent managing.
Right, and this proves the author really understands the holistic, day-to-day reality of a working professional, because they bring up platforms like AnyWord.
What is AnyWord exactly, for those who don't know?
So, AnyWord is an AI tool specifically designed to generate marketing copy, product descriptions, social media posts, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Because as a designer, you are constantly given a blank layout and told, just put some placeholder text in there for now.
The classic lorem ipsum.
Exactly. But with tools like this, the AI is actually analyzing vast amounts of conversion data to generate copy that is mathematically designed to turn viewers into buyers.
Wow.
You aren't just dropping in lorem ipsum anymore, you're dropping in highly targeted functional copy from day one.
That makes the mock-up look so much more professional to the client, too.
Yeah.
And then there's Beautiful.ai, which the author mentions for presentations.
Presentation decks are the bane of a designer's existence.
They really are. You spend all this time designing a beautiful brand identity, and then you have to present it to the client. And historically, that meant wrestling with presentation software.
Trying to get text boxes to align, making sure the fonts didn't break when you sent the file.
It's a nightmare. But the AI in these presentation tools, it actually understands grid systems. It understands hierarchy.
Yeah, when you drop an image onto a slide, the AI mathematically calculates the optimal layout. It aligns everything perfectly and maintains the brand's visual cohesion.
Without you having to drag a single guideline.
It's basically acting as a layout assistant, but honestly, the tool that truly illustrates the automation of the administrative grind
Is Zapier Central.
Yes, Zapier Central.
I really want to spend some time on this because I think it's such a brilliant inclusion by the author. Because on the surface, Zapier has absolutely nothing to do with graphic design.
Nothing at all. It's a web-based automation tool.
Right. So how does a graphic designer use an AI bot meant for data processing to do their creative job?
Well, to understand this, we have to look at the underlying mechanism of what Zapier actually is. Think of Zapier as a universal translator between all the different apps you use.
Okay, translated.
It uses things called APIs, application programming interfaces, which essentially allow two different pieces of software to talk to each other securely.
Got it.
Zapier Central allows you to create AI bots that act on those connections. So the author gives the example of using a bot to analyze a spreadsheet to gauge customer sentiment.
Let's break that down. Say you ran a campaign, right? And you have a massive spreadsheet of hundreds of customer feedback emails.
A nightmare to sort through.
In the past, you'd have to sit there and read them all to figure out if people actually liked the new logo.
Exactly. A human would spend hours reading and categorizing, this one's positive, this one's negative. But you can set up an AI bot in Zapier to instantly ingest that entire spreadsheet.
Just read the whole thing at once.
Yeah, and it uses natural language processing to understand the emotion and context of every single comment. And then it spits out a summary saying like, 80% of users found the new logo modern and refreshing, but 20% found the typography hard to read on mobile.
That is wild. The bot just did hours of data analysis in seconds.
In literal seconds. And the author also mentions having a bot remind your team about upcoming deadlines, or automatically drafting email responses to clients based on your previous emails.
See, and you might hear that and think, well, that's not graphic design.
Right.
But it is the business of graphic design. By automating the communication, the sentiment analysis, the deadline tracking, you are structurally buying back hours of your week.
You are clearing the administrative clutter off your desk.
So you have the mental bandwidth to actually sit down and create something.
And when you finally do sit down to create, the efficiency gains on the actual canvas are just as staggering.
Oh yeah, let's get into the visual stuff.
The text lists the specific, historically tedious tasks that AI is now handling natively. We are talking about automated resizing, automatically cropping images to highlight the subject,
Instantly removing complex backgrounds.
color matching across different assets, generating seamless patterns, automatic image enhancements, even handling file management and version control.
And tagging assets with metadata. Let's talk about the how of that for a second though, because I don't want to just list features. Take background removal.
I got a perfect example.
5 years ago, if you had a photo of a model with like really frizzy hair standing in front of a busy city street, and the client wanted that model placed on a plain white background,
That was a literal nightmare.
you'd be zoomed in at 800%. meticulously clicking around every single flyaway hair with the pen tool.
It could take an hour just to extract the subject.
Because the software didn't understand what it was looking at.
Exactly. To the old software, an image was just a grid of colored pixels. It didn't know what hair was. It didn't know what a building was. It just saw brown pixels next to gray pixels.
But now, because of machine learning and advanced image recognition, the software is semantically aware.
It understands the concept of a human being.
It understands the concept of a background. So when you click Remove Background, the AI isn't just looking at color contrast. It is actively identifying the subject based on millions of reference images it was trained on.
And it creates the mask instantly, perfectly preserving those frizzy hairs.
It's basically magic.
It feels like magic. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, this semantic understanding completely changes the fundamental economics of being a working designer.
Which brings us back to the starburst example we opened with. Let's look at the math the author provides.
Look on the numbers, yeah.
Okay, you need a starburst graphic. The manual method, drawing the vector paths, adjusting the anchor points, making it symmetrical, takes you 10 minutes.
If your billing rate is $150 an hour, that 10 minutes equates to $15 of your time. You are effectively charging the client $15 for a starburst.
Right. And for decades, the client was totally happy to pay it because they couldn't draw a starburst themselves.
But now you use a text-to-graphic feature natively built into a program like Illustrator. You type a prompt, symmetrical, sharp-edge starburst, solid yellow.
And the AI generates vector options in 45 seconds.
The author points out that instead of billing $15 for manual labor, the time cost drops to practically nothing. You can generate the asset, drop it in the file, and pass those massive savings directly onto your client.
The client is thrilled because the project comes in under budget, and the turnaround time is lightning fast.
Win-win!
But I have to push back here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because if I am listening to this, I'm starting to get a little nervous. If an AI bot is drafting all my client emails, analyzing the feedback spreadsheets, perfectly cutting out all the complex backgrounds, magically resizing all the banners, and drawing the starbursts from a prompt.
What exactly is your job?
Yeah, what am I doing?
Oh.
Am I still a graphic designer? Or am I just becoming a middle manager for a highly efficient team of software robots, just approving their work?
It's the most common anxiety in the industry right now. It feels like a total loss of identity. But I think viewing it as middle management is the wrong framework.
What's the right framework then? How should a novice designer conceptualize their role when the machine does all the drawing?
Okay, think about the hierarchy of a Michelin star restaurant.
Okay.
You need to stop thinking of yourself as a line cook and start thinking of yourself as the executive chef.
Oh, I like this. Walk me through the kitchen.
In a high-end, high-volume kitchen, the executive chef, the person whose name is on the door, the visionary behind the menu, is not the person standing at a stainless steel prep table spending 3 hours finely dicing onions.
Right. They aren't julienning carrots and peeling potatoes.
They hire a team of prep cooks to do that repetitive manual labor. In our scenario, artificial intelligence is your prep cook.
That makes perfect sense. The background removal, the image resizing, the starburst generation, that's all just chopping vegetables.
Exactly. And if the AI prep cook is chopping all the vegetables flawlessly and at superhuman speed, it completely frees you, the executive chef, to focus entirely on the flavor profile of the dish.
You get to step back and focus on the composition.
The narrative, the emotional resonance of the piece, and the overarching strategy of the campaign. You are no longer exhausted from dicing onions, so your palate is completely fresh to actually taste the sauce.
We are buying pre-chopped vegetables so we can focus on the Michelin star sauce.
Ooh.
I think that is an incredibly empowering way for a designer to look at this technology.
It elevates the human to a strategic role rather than a purely mechanical one.
It does, but it also leads us into a really tricky gray area. Because if the AI prep cook is chopping all the vegetables, what happens when it gets ambitious? What happens when the AI tries to actually cross the line from being an administrative assistant to actually participating in the creation of the recipe itself?
That is where the relationship changes fundamentally. And it brings us to the author's points on AI-powered design assistants and AI-generated assets.
We are no longer talking about a tool that just cleans up a messy background.
No, we are talking about a system that actively assists in ideation and creation.
The text outlines some truly wild capabilities here. The author describes AI acting as a creative co-pilot They can generate multiple variations on a design just to let you explore different stylistic directions.
You can ask it to suggest elements for a mood board?
It can simulate different user interactions. And most notably, you can use text-to-image prompts to conjure entirely custom original visuals out of thin air, rather than spending hours hunting for the perfect stock photo.
It can even analyze a brand's voice and color palette to generate custom fonts on the fly, which is insane.
The mechanism behind this is what makes it so powerful, right?
Yeah. Take the text-to-image generation. These models, like Midjourney or the tools inside Photoshop, they use a process called diffusion.
How does diffusion work, in plain English?
So they start with a field of complete visual noise, static, basically. And based on your text prompt, they iteratively remove the noise step by step until an image forms that matches the semantic meaning of your word.
It's essentially teaching a computer to hallucinate on command.
That is exactly what it is. And as the author notes, the profound implication here is that this technology allows designers to spend significantly less time learning how to use complex tools.
And much more time focusing on the message they're trying to convey.
Right. Think about typography. Historically, if you wanted a custom hand-lettered font for a specific campaign, you had to spend years mastering the Bezier curves of the pen tool in Illustrator.
You had to understand the exact mathematics of kerning and leading. It was a highly specialized, deeply technical skill.
Now you can prompt an AI, generate a custom sweeping script font that feels like a vintage 1950s diner sign, but modern.
And the AI handles all the complex vector math.
And you, the designer, get to immediately start experimenting with how that font makes the poster feel. It shifts your energy entirely from execution to exploration.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because while that sounds incredibly efficient, there is a massive, highly emotional, philosophical debate hidden inside that transition from execution to exploration.
Oh, absolutely.
The author includes this incredible quote that I think perfectly captures the soul of the anxiety running through the creative world. The quote is, "I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so I can do art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so I can do my laundry and dishes."
It's such a brilliant inclusion by the author because it cuts straight past the corporate efficiency metrics and goes right to the heart of human motivation.
Why do people choose to become graphic designers or illustrators or writers in the first place?
They do it because they genuinely love the tactile act of creation. They love the struggle of problem solving.
They love sketching 50 terrible ideas to find the one brilliant one. They love agonizing over the exact right shade of blue.
Yes, the friction is part of the joy. If you build an AI copilot that can analyze the brief, generate 10 beautiful mood board variations, establish the typography, and spit out a fully realized final visual.
You are essentially offloading the joy of the profession to an algorithm.
If the AI is having all the fun making the art, and you are just sitting at your desk clicking approve, regenerate while you fold your laundry.
Something fundamentally human has been strip-mined out of the career.
It really has. But the author acknowledges this tension beautifully. There is deep wisdom in recognizing that boundary.
As a novice designer, you absolutely want a copilot. You want a tool that can unstick you when you have writer's block, or suggest an alternative layout when yours feels cluttered.
You want a tool that can instantly replace a terrible, generic stock photo of people in suits shaking hands with a custom, stylized illustration.
But a true designer demands to maintain control over the creative soul of the project.
It comes down to intent. Offloading the actual core decision-making, the art of the design, goes against a designer's very nature. You want the AI to be your sounding board, not your ghostwriter.
It's the difference between asking a brilliant friend for advice on a painting you're working on versus handing your friend the brush and telling them to paint the whole thing while you watch.
You still want to hold the brush.
Always. You want the AI to augment your human creativity, not replace it. You are still the director.
Precisely.
So, let's assume we've navigated that philosophical minefield successfully. We've established our boundaries.
We are using the AI to automate the grunt work. We are using it to gather inspiration and generate custom assets.
But we have kept our hands firmly on the steering wheel regarding the creative soul of the piece. We've created a beautiful piece of art.
Okay, what's next?
The next logical hurdle is, how do we know it actually works? How do we know this beautiful thing we just made communicates effectively to the human beings who are going to look at it?
This takes us directly into the author's insights on visual analysis and data, which represents a major shift in the chapter.
We're moving away from AI as a creator or a prep cook and looking at AI as a highly advanced analytical engine.
The text groups this into advanced image recognition and data-driven design.
Let's start with the visual analysis part. The text talks about advanced image recognition providing content-aware solutions.
Right.
We touched on this briefly with background removal, but it goes much deeper.
The AI can literally see and interpret the context of what is inside a photograph.
Yes, and the applications are incredible. Imagine you have a stunning wide-angle architectural shot of a new corporate headquarters.
Okay.
The lighting is perfect, the composition is gorgeous, but there is an ugly, bright orange trash can sitting right by the front door that ruins the visual harmony.
Hate when that happens. In the past, you'd have to manually clone stamp the brick wall and the sidewalk to paint out the trash can.
Which always looks a little fake if you don't do it perfectly.
Right, but now, because the AI is content aware, you just circle the trash can. The AI analyzes the surrounding bricks, understands the perspective, understands the shadow fall off, and mathematically generates the missing background to seamlessly remove the distraction.
It understands the physical laws of the image. But what's fascinating here is that the author pushes past just making things look pretty.
This is one of the most crucial parts of the chapter.
The text dives deeply into how this exact same image recognition technology helps designers fulfill their ethical responsibilities.
The accessibility applications are revolutionary. We really need to drill down into the concept of alt text here.
For listeners who might be new to web design, let's explain what alt text actually is and why it matters so much.
Okay, so alt text or alternative text is the hidden written description of an image that is embedded directly into a website's HTML code.
You don't see it on the screen normally.
No, but it is fundamentally important because it is what screen reading software reads aloud to users who have visual impairments. If a blind user is navigating a news website, their software reads the articles aloud, and when it hits an image, it reads the alt text so they know what the picture is showing.
Right, and historically, the process of creating alt text has been a massive failure of the industry.
Oh, an absolute failure.
Yeah.
Writing unique, descriptive alt text for every single image across a massive e-commerce site or a daily news portal is incredibly tedious.
It requires a human to look at the photo, type out a description, and embed it in the code. Because it takes time, and time is money, it often gets skipped entirely or done incredibly poorly.
You'll have a beautiful emotional photo of a marathon runner crossing the finish line in tears, and because the designer was rushed, the alt text just says image_445_final.jpg.
That creates a severely exclusionary, broken experience for a visually impaired user. They are completely locked out of the visual narrative.
But the author points out that advanced image recognition completely solves this friction. If an AI can instantly see and understand the context of an image, it can automatically generate perfectly descriptive alt text in milliseconds.
So the AI analyzes the pixels and instantly writes, a female marathon runner in a red jersey crying tears of joy as she breaks the finish line tape, with a blurred crowd cheering in the background.
And it drops that perfectly formatted text right into the code. As the author rightly notes, making content accessible is a baseline requirement. It is a step all designers should be making.
But human laziness, tight deadlines, and budget constraints constantly get in the way. Artificial intelligence simply removes the friction of doing the right thing.
It automates empathy.
It automates empathy. That is incredibly powerful phrasing. And the text takes this concept of inclusive analysis even further.
It discusses how AI can scan an entire massive design solution.
Let's say an 80-page corporate lifestyle brochure, or a global advertising campaign with hundreds of touch points. The AI can actively analyze the faces and scenarios in the imagery to ensure representation.
This is a brilliant use of objective data to counter subjective human flaws. A human designer, even a highly empathetic, well-intentioned one, operates with unconscious biases.
We all do.
If you ask a designer to pull 50 stock photos of business professionals in a meeting, they might inadvertently pull 50 images that reflect only their own demographic, their own age group, or their own cultural background.
They just don't notice the macro trend of their choices until it goes to print.
But an algorithm doesn't have that biological blind spot. The AI can instantly scan the entire 80-page deliverable and flag the designer, essentially saying, hey, I've analyzed all the visual assets. You have zero representation of older adults. You have no individuals with visible disabilities. You are heavily skewed toward a single demographic.
It acts as an objective mathematical check on the campaign. It helps ensure that the final product represents a broad range of people, perspectives, and backgrounds.
Which ultimately helps communities feel included and engaged with the brand. It's not about stifling creativity, it's about using technology to widen the aperture of who the design is speaking to.
It's like having a hyper-aware, instantly analytical focus group living right inside your software.
A focus group that never sleeps.
And speaking of focus groups, the data-driven design aspect of this is where the industry really starts to look like science fiction.
Oh, the A/B testing.
The author notes that AI can analyze data faster and more accurately than human beings. But it's how it applies that data to the creative process that changes everything. We're talking about simulating user interactions and running A/B testing in near real time.
To understand this, you have to think about how designers used to make decisions. Historically, a lot of graphic design was based on intuition. Yeah. A designer would say, I think this button should be red, and I think the headline should be aligned to the left because it feels heavier there. And maybe they were right, but it was essentially an educated guess.
And if the client disagreed, it was just an argument of opinions. Well, I like blue better.
Exactly. To actually test it, you had to build two completely different versions of the website, the red button version and the blue button version. Launch them both, drive thousands of real human beings to the sites over a month, and meticulously track which one resulted in more sales.
It was slow, expensive, and really risky if you guessed wrong.
But the author explains that AI completely short-circuits that process. Because AI models have been trained on billions of data points regarding human eye tracking, clicking habits, and scroll behaviors, it can simulate the test before it ever goes live.
You feed your design into the AI, and it essentially generates a predictive heat map.
It tells you, based on historical human behavior, if you put the headline there, 40% of users will scroll past it without reading. If you change the button to red, conversions will likely increase by 12%.
It takes the guesswork entirely out of the graphic design process. You are no longer just making things aesthetically pleasing. You are making them highly functional.
You are mathematically proving that the layout will resonate with the target audience based on actual, quantifiable behavioral trends before you ever write a line of code.
You know that it works before it even exists. That is mind-blowing. But that integration of real-time data acts as the perfect bridge to the most radical concept in the entire book.
This is where we cross the Rubicon.
Because if AI can analyze data to tell us exactly how an audience will react, what happens when we stop treating the design as a finished, static object?
What happens when we allow the design to change itself while the audience is actively looking at it, based on that live data stream?
This brings us to the author's points on dynamic, adaptive design and optimized advertising. For the entirety of human history, graphic design has been static.
You design a theatrical poster, you send it to the printing press, the ink dries, and it is done. It will look exactly the same tomorrow as it does today.
Even in the digital age, you design a web page layout, you code the HTML and CSS, and it's a fixed structure.
But the text explicitly explains that the era of static design is ending. We are moving rapidly toward design solutions that adjust dynamically to optimize user responses.
The AI is constantly monitoring a live stream of data. Visits, clicks, scroll depth, navigation patterns, and it can adapt the layout, swap the fonts, and change the images on the fly.
We've seen basic versions of this. We know about responsive design, like a website squishing down to fit on a mobile phone screen versus a wide desktop monitor. That's been around.
But the author is talking about something vastly more intelligent than just adjusting to screen resolution. The text states that AI can adapt a design based on variables like the time of day, the user's geographical location, and incredibly, even the local weather.
The weather, yes. Let's break down the highly specific example the author provides to illustrate this, because it perfectly crystallizes what this technology means for the end user. The Home Depot example.
Yes, I want to walk through this step by step. What exactly is the algorithm doing in this scenario?
Okay, imagine it's a Saturday morning. You are sitting at home in your home office, and you pull up the Home Depot website on your desktop computer.
All right, I'm at my desk.
The AI running the website instantly analyzes your specific context. It registers that you are on a desktop machine connected to a stable, high-speed residential Wi-Fi network.
It knows I'm chilling at home.
Because of that context, the AI infers that you are likely in research mode. You are probably planning a large project, maybe remodeling a bathroom. You want deep dive information.
So what does the AI do with that assumption?
Without a human designer ever intervening, the AI dynamically generates a specific layout tailored just for you in that moment. It prioritizes highly detailed product specifications.
It serves up expansive, long-form customer reviews.
It shows high-resolution, wide-angle lifestyle photos of finished bathrooms. The layout is dense, text-heavy, and designed for a leisurely, expansive screen experience.
Makes total sense. You are sitting comfortably, you want all the data.
But now, imagine it's 3 hours later. You are driving in your car, a pipe has suddenly burst in your basement, and you are frantically pulling up the exact same Home Depot website on your mobile phone in the passenger seat.
Okay, total panic mode.
The AI recognizes the mobile device. It sees via GPS that your location is moving at 30 miles an hour. It analyzes this new context and instantly understands this user is not in research mode, this user is in emergency execution mode.
So the design has to change.
Completely, and it does it autonomously. The long-form reviews, vanished. The high-resolution lifestyle photos, hidden. The detailed specifications, buried behind a menu.
What gets pushed to the absolute top of your screen in massive, highly legible, high-contrast typography?
The exact distance in miles to the nearest physical store. Whether that specific store has the pipe fitting you need in stock right now and exactly what time the doors close.
It fundamentally shapeshifts the entire user interface to serve the immediate, urgent need of the human being looking at it.
Yes, that is dynamic design.
So what does this all mean? I mean, I really want you, the listener, to pause and deeply think about the implications of this. If the final deliverable that a graphic designer hands over to a client is no longer a fixed poster,
And it's no longer a static coded web page.
but instead, it is a living, breathing algorithm that shapeshifts based on whether it is raining outside in Chicago or whether the user's driving in a car in Dallas. What exactly is graphic design anymore? Are we just writing rules instead of drawing images?
It's a profound identity shift. You are no longer designing objects. You are designing systems. You are designing the parameters and the guardrails within which the AI is allowed to play.
I was trying to come up with an analogy for this, and the best way I can conceptualize it is that we are no longer painting a landscape on a canvas. We are building a terrarium.
Oh, expand on that. I like the terrarium idea.
When you build a terrarium, you don't control exactly where every single drop of condensation falls, and you don't control the exact angle that a specific leaf grows. You can't. It's a living ecosystem.
Right.
But as the designer of the terrarium, you choose the exact composition of the soil. You choose the types of seeds. You define the climate, the humidity, the parameters of the glass box.
You establish the rules of the environment, and then you step back and let the ecosystem react dynamically to the light in the room. That is a brilliant way to understand adaptive design. You are curating the variables. You are saying to the AI, here are the brand colors, here are the approved fonts, here is the hierarchy of information. Now, go interact with the user's weather data and optimize the layout.
And this concept extends directly into the optimized advertising the author discusses later in the chapter.
Right, because if the AI can adapt the website layout, it can certainly adapt the ads driving people to the website.
Exactly. The text talks about AI using predictive marketing, sentiment analysis, and behavioral tracking to match targeted content to the exact user who is most likely to engage with it.
It's not just showing the same billboard to 1 million people on a highway hoping one person wants to buy a hammer.
It is identifying the specific person whose search history indicates they need a hammer and showing them an ad for a hammer dynamically priced just for them.
The author notes that this hyper-efficiency in ad spend can actually result in deeper discounts and savings for audiences because the marketing budget isn't being wasted on irrelevant impressions.
It's like the designer is setting up a massive, complex series of dominoes, defining all the visual assets, the copy variations, the audience segments, and the AI is the entity deciding exactly when, where, and how to knock those dominoes down based on real-world triggers.
It's unbelievable. But this terrarium analogy brings up a massive logistical problem. If the very nature of the final deliverable fundamentally changes from a static object into a fluid, data-driven, adaptive system, then the human beings making those systems are going to need entirely new skill sets.
You can't just know color theory anymore.
And honestly, it means the industry is going to need entirely new job titles.
Which perfectly transitions us to our final stop on this journey through Chapter 13. The author tackles the concept of the future human, specifically focusing on the creation of new design roles.
And this brings us full circle. We have to revisit that visceral fear we talked about in the very first minute of this deep dive, the anxiety about massive job loss.
The author counters that fear head-on by stating that while some traditional repetitive jobs will disappear, the people strictly doing the grunt work artificial intelligence is highly likely to actually create entirely new categories of design jobs.
And they aren't just calling it Graphic Designer 2.0. The text names highly specific, specialized new roles that are emerging right now.
Let's look closely at these roles, because for the novice designers listening, these represent the absolute frontier of your career path. First, the author mentions the rise of AI specialists.
Think of them as the master prompters and integrators. These would be designers whose entire job, 100% of their focus, is working specifically with complex AI tools to generate assets and enhance a broader, traditional design project.
So what does an AI specialist do all day?
They are the ones who understand exactly how to manipulate the diffusion models. They know how to speak the language of the machine to get the exact stylistic output required. They aren't slaying out the magazine, but they are generating all the impossible custom visuals for the magazine.
So instead of being a typography specialist or a photography retouching specialist, you are an AI generation specialist.
You are the technical wizard of the new tools.
You are the person the creative director comes to when they need an image of a cybernetic tiger walking through a neon rainforest, and they need it in high resolution by Tuesday.
Exactly. But the second role the text mentions is even more fascinating to me because it's purely strategic. The author talks about AI consultants.
Right. And based on what we've discussed about bias and representation, this role seems critical. What is the purview of an AI consultant in a design agency?
Their job is essentially to be the ethical and strategic architect of how an agency uses artificial intelligence. They are the ones ensuring that the AI tools are ethically created, ethically sourced, and ethically applied.
They are the gatekeepers asking the hard questions.
Were the massive data sets used to train this specific image generator legally and ethically sourced? Or did they scrape copyrighted work without permission?
Are we inadvertently perpetuating cultural bias in this dynamic ad campaign? Are we maintaining the authentic creative integrity of our client's brand while leaning on these algorithms?
They are the ethical and legal navigators. They make sure the agency doesn't blindly trust a machine that might generate something offensive or legally compromised.
And then there's the third role mentioned in the text, which absolutely blew my mind because it sounds so technical, but it is the absolute foundation of the living canvas we just talked about, dataset maintainers.
This is the role that makes the terrarium possible. Think back to the Home Depot example or the predictive A/B testing. An artificial intelligence model is only as intelligent as the data it is being fed.
It cannot predict human behavior if it doesn't have an accurate, up-to-the-minute map of human behavior.
Precisely. If the data is from 2019, the AI is going to make terrible design decisions for 2026. A dataset maintainer is the person responsible for curating, cleaning, and maintaining the massive datasets that feed the dynamic design systems.
They're updating the audience behaviors, the market trends, the geographical nuances, and all the other critical data sources.
They are the librarians of human behavior. If the dataset maintainer fails to keep the information fresh and relevant, the dynamic design system collapses and serves irrelevant content.
This raises an important question, or rather, it highlights a massive, unavoidable evolution for anyone listening to this right now. If you are a novice designer entering the field today, you are no longer just learning the golden ratio, how to balance a color wheel, and how to use the pen tool.
You are essentially learning how to be a director of artificial intelligence.
Yes, and the text is incredibly clear on its final point regarding these new roles. The design industry will continue to rely heavily on human designers, but it will rely on the designers who are not afraid of AI.
And who are proactively willing to create and use AI-related tools in their processes. The future belongs to the synthesizer.
The designer who can look at a complex communication problem, know exactly which AI tool to deploy to gather sentiment data, which diffusion model to use to generate the visual assets.
And how to stitch it all together into a dynamic, adaptive system that serves the human end user.
It is a total ground-up paradigm shift.
Okay, let's pull all this together, because we have been on quite a journey through Chapter 13. We started in the weeds, looking at how AI is going to absolutely eradicate the mundane grunt work.
Automating the resizing, the complex background removals, and even the administrative email drafting via Zapier Central APIs.
We saw how that efficiency fundamentally changes the economics of the job, saving the client money, and creating incredible ROI, like our 45-second starburst. We are buying pre-chopped vegetables so we can focus on the sauce.
We then navigated the deeply philosophical tension of the creative co-pilot, acknowledging that while AI is incredible at generating custom assets and exploring typography variations, human designers must fiercely protect their role as the ultimate creative director.
We have to remember that we want AI to do our laundry, not steal the joy of making our art.
From there, we explored how AI acts as an incredible lens for empathy and inclusion, objectively generating descriptive alt text for the visually impaired and analyzing vast design campaigns to ensure diverse, equitable representation. We moved from intuition to data-driven, predictive A/B testing.
And we culminated in the mind-bending reality of the living canvas. We explored how static design is dying, replaced by dynamic, adaptive systems that shape-shift based on location and weather, like the Home Depot terrarium.
And ultimately, we saw how building those complex systems leads to the creation of entirely new career paths, like AI specialists, AI consultants, and dataset maintainers. The core takeaway from the author is undeniable, and it is the exact reframing we started with. Don't fear the machine, master it.
Because the designer who masters it is the one who will define the next era of visual communication.
But I want to leave you, the listener, with one final provocative thought to mull over as you close out this deep dive. We've spent this entire time establishing that artificial intelligence is rapidly taking over the technical execution.
It's doing the A/B testing, it's handling the accessibility checks, it's generating the pixels, and it's even making real-time layout adjustments based on the weather.
If artificial intelligence eventually masters the entirety of the how in graphic design, does the role of the future graphic designer stop being about designing altogether?
In a world where the machine can execute any visual perfectly and dynamically, does the future graphic designer become purely a philosopher and a psychologist?
Wow.
When the software can build anything instantly, are you just the only entity left in the room who can answer why we are making the art in the first place?
That is something to seriously think about the next time you open up a blank canvas. Because that old expectation of manual precision, that comforting, predictable, binary click of the lasso tool, that era is officially behind us.
We are swimming in the murky, magical, algorithmic waters of the terrarium now.
And it is entirely up to you how you learn to navigate them. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Chapter 13. Keep questioning, keep adapting, and we will see you next time.
Take care, everyone.